Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy and this is the thread response, and it's a thread that was started by George over in Scotland, and his handle is scottspinner1, and I will put a link below to his original video for this. And it all has to do with God, and it's with God on our side is what he called it, which was the Bob Dylan song that the Neville Brothers did that he featured in his video. But it all has to do with finding songs about God or albums or about religion in general, and so I wanted to participate as well. And so I've got 10 songs that all have God in the title. So that's what I'm going with this. Right, the first one I'm going to use is from the album Carnage. This was with Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. They've also done some soundtracks together. Warren Ellis was in the Bad Seeds with Nick Cave, and he started out as a classically trained violinist, but he can play about anything, I think. And this album came out last year, and I'm going with the tune Hand of God, which is a really, really cool tune by them. So on the album Carnage, there's the label, but not much to look at on the label. All right, next is another pianist, the great Randy Newman, just like Nick Cave. In his album Sail Away, it's my favorite Randy Newman album. Great singer-songwriter, came out in 1972. Here you can kind of see him at the piano there. He's such a wonderful artist, and he has a lot of sarcasm in his music, and I'm going with God, last song on here, God's Song. That's Why I Love Mankind, which is kind of a sarcastic look at people worshiping God and all the trials and tribulations that befall them, and they still worship Him, and that's God looking down, going, "That's why I love mankind." It's an interesting song, to say the least. It's gonna fall over. All right, next from Martin Denny. This from the album Exotica. He's got a song called Stone God on here. Now, this is his debut, and actually Stone God was a Les Baxter tune, which he does quite a few of them on here. But called Exotica music and sometimes bachelor pad music, but interesting tune, Stone God, a Les Baxter tune that Martin Denny does on here. And this was a reissue on Jackpot, but I know it's an album you'll see out in the bins, but it seems like most of the time the covers are all tore up, which I like that cover. It's kind of a classic cover, and I just wanted to get a good copy of that. All right, next one I'm going to show is from Van Morrison and his album Roll with the Punches. This is a nice 2-record set that came out. They kind of spread it out over 2 albums. And he does the song, if I can find it on here, How Far From God, which is a Sister Rosetta Tharpe song and has some rollicking piano. He sings it's kind of a bluesy tune on this album. This is one of his good later albums, I think. Roll with the Punches, Van Morrison. All right, next I have the Pogues, If I Should Fall From Grace with God. That's the name of the album, and also that's the name of the tune I want to highlight. Great tune, maybe my favorite Pogues song. This is my favorite Pogues album. If I should fall from grace with God, and no doctor can relieve me, if I'm buried neath the sod and the angels won't receive me. Or something to that effect. Let me go, boys, let me go, boys, let me go down in the mud where the rivers all run dry. The Pogues. And there's the label. All right. Next, from my favorite Los Lobos album, By the Light of the Moon. We got a song on here. Last tune on there, Tears of God, which is a beautiful ballad from Los Lobos. This album came out in '87. Just a classic, mixing in some Tex-Mex with pop sensibilities. And it's just Great album by Los Lobos. And next is what is probably a lot of people's favorite John Lennon solo album, and that's Plastic Ono Band. And my favorite's probably Imagine, but I do love this album. And he has on here a song called God. And on that song, he talks about all the things he doesn't believe in, like the Beatles. Just believe in me, Yoko and me. It's a great tune. I can't get back in there, but John Lennon on the Plastic Ono Band. And next, from Guadalcanal Diary and their album Jamboree, they've got a song, Fear of God. Now, I don't know how many people know of Guadalcanal Diary, kind of alternative band, but if you like REM, I think you'd like them. They have a lot of jangle guitar in their music. This is one of their better ones, I think. Jamboree. All right, next is an album a lot of Alice Cooper fans do not care for. That's an album called Lace and Whiskey. It's kind of like his adult contemporary album, I guess you could say, but he does a lot of different things on there. But he also has a song called My God. It starts out with kind of churchy organ and kind of rocks it out. It's a pretty good song. My God by Alice Cooper. I guess I haven't shown the labels on some of these. There's a nice picture of Alice Cooper. And there's a custom label there. And let's see, when did this album come out? 1977. Lace and Whiskey, Alice Cooper. And the last one I'm going to do is featuring the Five Royals. This is a compilation album called Laundromat Blues on the Apollo label. I think Relic, Relic was the label that reissued it. But this is a compilation, and they have a song called So God Can Use Me, which is a really great tune, which was actually unreleased until it came out on this one. It was recorded in the early 50s. These are a groundbreaking group, and the Five Royals kind of fused the doo-wop and that early R&B sound to the more soulful R&B songs that came out in the 60s, but they were one of the seminal groups with that transition, I think, is the Five Royals. Them and the Shepherds are two of my favorites in that kind of genre that kind of fused both genres. All right, that's my thread response, and I hope other people do this. And George, thanks for starting this, and everyone take care.